This is Majinoni, and here's my review for Sam Kieth's Arkham Asylum Madness graphic novel. This is a little bit different because with an Arkham Asylum story, especially with Joker on the cover, you'd think that that's pretty much who the story is going to be centered around. But in this case, the story is centered around doctors and nurses. So it's a little bit, it's more of a different view of what's going on inside Arkham. Now, there's going to be some spoilers, so if you haven't read this book and you want to come back, that's something to warn you guys ahead of time. I don't know if I'm going to also go through this whole thing because it's a hardcover and I don't want to bend the spine too much. But going into it, the story centers around a nurse. Her name is Sabine, and this is her first day. She's going to work, and her family's taken there, and then the kids like 50,000 questions, and she arrives to work. It kind of goes through all the different characters that she interacts with, and then you start getting a tour of the inmates. I guess there's like Killer Croc, and then you'll see Harlequin's in there, Joker, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and what's really gives you the impression is Arkham Asylum is under like a pressure cooker, meaning there's a couple of different viewpoints that they give this from. One is you have this clock that's like really up high, and there's like this tick tick ticking sound that's just overemphasized, and it's so high up nobody can really go up there and just touch it. It's like you got to get a ladder. And it's a whole, as you can see here, I can't even reach it. And there's also another pressure part where Killer Croc is, because he's not like on the bottom floor, and he's got a tank filled with hundreds of tons of water pressure inside there. So that's just, waiting to explode. So, like, we're going through the basic day, it's like, here's a certain such time, it's lunch hour, so everybody goes out, has their smoke, eats their lunch. They talk about what's going on inside Arkham, and it basically goes right back to the pressure cooker situation again. I don't know, I guess you can say if there's a real point to the story, like a typical normal comic would have, other than it's like it's your basic a day in the life of type story. Because like you said, you're going through here, and then it's like, what do we do about Man-Bat? And there's Harley Quinn, and the doctors and psychologists talk to him. Joker's up to his usual tricks, and he jacks somebody up later. He really jacks somebody up later. You have basically a changing of the guard, in which now you have, like, she was warned never to work nighttime, but now she's forced to because she's got to. Her family has a lot of bills. They need the money, type thing. So she's working well past a 12-hour shift. And now we get to see what happens at Arkham at night. And Arkham at night's definitely a lot different than Arkham during the day. Joker becomes a little bit more active. Now, to add a little mystery about the clock, you have blood dripping out of the clock. You have the ticking sound still. And even the Joker makes a reference that something bad is going to happen. It's basically, can't you feel the pressure? Something's going to burst, type thing. It's overall, I really love the art in this book. It's fantastic. If you're a Sam Kieth fan, you're definitely going to want this. And as you can see here, while there's some moments of, it's like, average. There's really moments that just shine in terms of the art. Joker's completely psychotic. Here's even Scarecrow, and he's talking. I'm trying to figure out how he can talk with his mouth sewn shut. And you get Sam Kieth has a real interesting view of the characters. Harley Quinn looks a lot different than what we normally see of her. Poison Ivy looks different. Man-Bat, he looks amazing. Killer Croc looks more like a reptile. Joker looks like this Joker is fantastic. This is like I think this is like amazing art. I just wish other Bat titles, you know, with the initials of BW could be as good as this. You get a real twisted view of the Joker. Even this, the art, the way the lines, you know, show like age, and it shows just the twistedness of them. I think overall, I mean, it's really good. And you go from, you know, things like this type of art to that. And I really like the way it switches around. Like I said, overall, this is like a hard book for me to recommend because, you know, on one hand, I enjoyed the book because I thought it was an interesting take on Arkham Asylum. On the other hand, I can see some people who are going to go into this going, what the hell, I want, you know, chaos, I want Batman, I want, you know, people getting their ass kicked. Nothing like that happens in this book at all. It's a lot different than that. It's more, I'd say it's more of a character-driven piece because it's pretty much centered around the nurse and what she goes through her day and subsequent night. So, well, like I said, well, I find it difficult to recommend. I can say I did enjoy the book. I'm actually going to reread this because I think there's moments where I was a little bit distracted by the art, and I didn't pay as much attention as I probably should have to some of the dialogue, and I think what I missed was I don't want to say it's important, but it really would have given me more of a story. But I will say is I'm glad I bought this. If you're a Sam Kieth fan, I think you'd be silly not to buy this because this art is really, really good. If you're just a casual Batman fan, you know, you're probably gonna, or a hardcore, I just want Batman kicking ass, skip it. This is definitely not a book for you. It's more story driven. So that's basically my review. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them on the side and subscribe to the channel. And until next time.